think it's super important now more than ever. Like, if you can play a live instrument, like the whole DJ thing is kind of slowing down. You know, for a while it was like everyone's like, we need more DJs. Like, but now if you could play, you know, guitar and sing and DJ at the same time, or play off Ableton, like that's just kind of like what we were talking about with branding. It's just another way to separate yourself. Also, if you understand how to play an instrument, writing melodies comes a lot easier. And so I definitely think it's worth it. You know, getting piano lessons, getting any kind of music lessons. You know, ear training is super important.
So when you're making your tracks, I'm curious if you have kind of a standard modus operandi. Do you start out with a chord progression? Are you a melody guy? Do you do drums first?
I would say probably the first thing I always do is I'll just like look through samples or try to find something that is like an interesting, like a synth preset or something. And then I normally like to start super basic and then just kind of start adding stuff from there, getting like a vibe that I want, and then kind of doing it without any drums, and then adding drums like way later in the process after. I mean, there's two ways I do it. Either I do it that way or I make it really fast and try to make something in like 30 minutes just to get an idea out. But normally I would say my best tracks have come from just kind of vibing. I love making music with other people too. You know, I live with 3 other dudes who are producers, and you know, like we live with this kid Blanda who's an amazing keyboard player, so he'll play some keys and that'll be a great way to start a track. Or
I'm super jealous of a person who actually lives with 4 other musicians. So at any given point there's somebody in the house, eyes 4 inches from a screen, putting out tunes. Or
yeah, I mean, pretty much all we're doing is making music or watching The Office. It's dope. And we actually just started streaming too, so we've been doing like music production streams and, you know, getting to know people that way. That's actually super fun on Twitch. It's interesting because it makes you have to focus a lot more. You can't just be in your own head. Like sometimes when I'm making music, I just get really like caught up in the zone of just making weird sounds and I don't really get anything done. But when people are watching you, you kind of have to make something dope, and that pressure helps. It's like when you're DJing in front of people, you know, you're kind of feeding off the energy and you're just vibing more. And when you're streaming, you know, you kind of have that same thing.
I'm a huge advocate for what you're describing. If people who are listening are not familiar with Twitch, it originally started and continues to be a huge streaming platform for gamers, and they have a whole creative section that includes music production and people that sit with guitars or drummers. But if you are into music production, I would love to foster this aspect of Twitch more. And I would love to go to Twitch because it's still very few and far between that you'll see music production stream. Not that you don't see it, but you'll see, you know, 99% of the streamers on there are all video games, and I would love to see more music production on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we were all talking about when we kind of got the urge to do the Twitch stuff. It was just like, this needs to happen. Like, the Twitch is an amazing platform there. You know, it's free. It's crazy. Like,